Welcome to TVGOS, your source for technology, video games, and other stuff. I'm your host, Aaron, and today I'm going to be going over some of my favorite third-party apps for the Apple Watch. So before we get started here today, let's just take a moment to admire this beautiful, beautiful watch face that we're seeing here, which is the motion watch face, which is my personal favorite, and this one happens to be of the jellyfish. So it's very gorgeous, so just take a moment to admire that beauty. Also, if you did not know, you can tap to cycle through the jellyfish. I'm going to be honest, I just learned that right now. That's pretty awesome. Some jellyfish have higher detail. And I also want to apologize in advance because the brightness in this video is going to be a little bit lower, but I'm doing that so that you could really focus on the screen here and see what I'm doing on the watch a little further. Okay, so alright, let's go ahead and get started here. We can enjoy the gorgeous watch face later. So this is my home screen here. Usually the idea is, unless you want to set up a cool design with all your app icons, you want to have your most important, most used apps commonly toward the center ring. So that way, the least important apps you swipe to the outside. That way you spend less time searching for it. So for example, this is going to be the first app I want to talk about, Hue. As you can see, it's right here next to the clock app icon. So I can just quickly jump right into the Hue app. So Hue is really great because using the Hue app, you can control your lights. Very simple, so how to pull up your phone and unlock it, go to the notification center widget or whatever. You just go straight from your wrist. The one major crux of this, along with all the other third-party apps, is going to be there's a little bit of lag with the loading of it, which is something that's hopefully to be improved this fall when the new SDK comes out. So I'm not too concerned. But using Hue would be much more effective without that load time you saw at the beginning. But once it's got loaded, as you can see, it just works beautifully. There's no hesitation. It works like bam. It just works. There's not a lot to the Hue app. As you can see, going up and down doesn't do anything. You just have your presets, so you can't change your lights, the brightness, anything like that. You can just use your preset scenes that you have, which is fine. It's kind of what I expected. It's along the lines of what the widget has. Now, what's really cool is doing a force touch will allow you to turn it off from anywhere. So instead of going to the all off button we have here, say you're way down here in your list, all you have to do is a quick force touch and bam, turned it off. And I can turn it right back on. So it's very quick, very convenient, very handy from the wrist. No latency any way, shape, or form. So as one of the developers of Hubble for Pebble, it's really nice to see you have a standalone app of their own here. So that's really, really awesome. So let's go ahead and get into some of my other favorites here. One that you guys have probably heard a lot about is going to be deliveries. So it's pretty straightforward if you have the deliveries app on your phone, which is a little pricey, about $4.99. I know there is a free alternative that I used to use called Delivered, which has an Apple Watch app. I've not checked out that app yet, but this Deliveries app, I don't have any packages I'm expecting right now, unfortunately, but so I can't demonstrate it. But it's pretty self-explanatory. You can go in here, you can see the status of where your packages are, what's going on with those, and the best part about it is, of course, it does have a glance. Yeah, so it has a glance here, which would show you your package statuses and show you, what's going on with those, so you can quickly get to that information. So that's pretty awesome. Like I said, unfortunately, I don't have a way of demoing it right now, and oh, god damn, that watch face just looks so beautiful. Anyway, moving forward. So delivery is pretty self-explanatory. Like I said, a lot of people have talked about it. A lot of people know about it. Now here's an app where there are many types of these, but this one in particular is not being talked about. It actually got, there are some free codes for it on Reddit, which is how I obtained it. So the developer's name escapes me, but it's a fantastic app. This app is actually called To Do. And it's like clear. It's like many of those other things that you'll see. Like the list, pretty much. I'm trying to think of what the proper category name is, but like the list apps. So this one's really, really quick and convenient. You can set it all up on your phone. But I love this because, as you can see, I use it to make a grocery list. So it's super duper convenient for that because it's as simple as I've been in the kitchen doing something, making food, like for example, the paper plates one. So in there making food, and I reached in the cabinet, grabbed the last paper plate, and I went, you know what, I need more paper plates, and I don't need to forget this. So we're planning on going grocery shopping soon. All I had to do was pull up this app on my watch, and I just did a quick force touch, and I clicked add the list. paper plates. And bam. And you know what? Sure enough, I mean, I already have it at the top, but you'll see right down here at the bottom, sure enough, paper plates has been added right back to the list. And then while you're shopping, you can just mark these off. Really quick and easy. I mean, I haven't gotten these yet, so let me uncheck those. And paper plates down here at the bottom. And then once you have them checked off, you can click remove items and it'll remove all your scratched off ones. So it's really quick and easy. I love it, and this is one of those killer apps that it was just super convenient. I'm just in the kitchen, I'm doing my thing without hesitating or interrupting what I'm doing. I just lift my wrist, I open this app real quick, just pressed, click to add, and I'm doing other things while I just lift up my wrist and I just tell it what I need added, and it's done, and then bam, it's on my list. So this is one of my favorite apps. And like I said, there's many alternatives. Like, for example, here's Clear, which you're probably all very familiar with Clear. It's a very popular iPhone app, and you can do the same things here. It does it a little more elegantly. There's a lot more animations, but it can take a little more time. To do is usually much quicker, simpler, in my opinion, but you can go in here and you can click to add a task and use dictation for that and everything. Like I said, pretty much identical functionality-wise. To do just has a lot more simplicity. It's quicker and easier, in my opinion, than trying to go through the elegance of Clear. Plus, it's a smaller developer, so I always get to support them. Like I said, I actually got it with a free code. So definitely check it out. It's excellent. Here's another one that I got off of Reddit as well from one of the developers. This one's called Locator Plus. Now, just like To Do, this has very similar functionality to how you'll do it on your phone. So if you do not have an Apple Watch, you can still use this app and use the same functionality. The watch just adds to the convenience factor of it. So Locator Plus, what this one does, this is pretty excellent. And I mean, I'm sure we've all been there. You park at a concert, something like that, and you're way out in an area you're not familiar with. You don't remember where you parked your car at the end of the night once you get out of the concert. So what you do is when you're leaving, you park your car, you click here to set mark, and you go ahead and just set it. I'm not going to go through it right now because I don't want to show my location and everything. But you'll set a mark, and then at the end of the night when you get out, you go in here, click My Marks, you'll see the mark you set, you click it, and it'll take you to the Maps app and do a guide to where you were. So that way you can use this to navigate to where you parked. So that way you can never forget where you've parked. So it's super duper excellent, and it really helps out. I've not been in a situation yet where I really needed this, like the concert example, but I probably will be in one very soon, so I'm looking forward to using this. But it can be used for something as simple as parking at a Walmart or something, and you know, it was a busy Saturday, and so you have no idea where you parked. Alright, so moving forward, let's see some of the other third-party apps I have on here. This one actually just got a couple days ago, Living Earth. You might have seen it pop up in one of the top apps in the App Store. It's on sale right now for 99 cents. So it's an excellent app on the phone. It is a weather app. On the phone, you could pull up a full 3D globe. You can actually rotate it around and see all the clouds and everything in real time from your phone. So that way you could see, you know, hurricanes and things like that. That's one of the big highlights of this app in general, is just like hurricane tracking and that kind of stuff. But the watch functionality honestly is rather disappointing. You go here on the watch, it just shows a static image. You can't rotate it, which is understandable. The WatchKit SDK is very limited right now, and I wouldn't expect it to render a full 3D globe, so that's fine. But you know, it's not as impressive technically speaking as when you see it on your phone. I'm going to scroll on the screen. It's a little pain to... Well, I'll just use my other hand here. So you can scroll through here, you get a quick forecast just like the standard weather app. And so this, you can have like a list of selected cities. So this will actually tell you if you have any sort of hurricanes or anything like that. Apparently we do have one. Usually it says no activity, but apparently there is one. And then, as you can see right here with the wireframe, this is going to bring me to my biggest complaint of that app, quite honestly, and especially the glance of it. I keep it right here after the weather glance. So this is what it'll do. It'll load, and it'll just load up a wireframe, and it'll just never load the globe, ever. Which is really disappointing, because I liked having it right next to my weather glance so I could pull this up, see the weather, and then quickly swipe over and see what the Earth looks like. But it just, unfortunately, it never loads. It will once in a blue moon, but it's so inconsistent, and a good 99% of the time it just never loads. It's really disappointing, and I hope they fix it in a bug fix update or something. So after that, moving on, Shazam's another very popular one. It's very convenient having it straight from your wrist. I've tested it a couple times, just when you see Taylor Swift, just because I just tested it. So just a couple times, I was in my friend's car also, and I tested it there with some of their music. So it's really cool. You just pull this up, you quickly press the button. It's awesome, very convenient instead of having to pull the phone out. But the main problem with this, as I'm sure you all heard, is it uses the microphone on your phone instead of on the watch. So if your phone's in your pocket and it's muffled and can't hear the music, you're kind of SOL. Hopefully, because they should be getting access to the other parts of the watch with the SDK this fall, hopefully that's something that's updated to make it a lot more convenient. But I will say the lyrics feature is spot on. Whenever you're listening to the song, it'll actually pull up the lyrics as they're playing, and so you can actually follow through with the lyrics. Like, it'll actually be moving almost karaoke style and highlighting where it is in the song, which is really impressive. It's really awesome, especially straight from your wrist. Alright, Twitter, self-explanatory. Trivia Crack's a pretty good one. I actually queued up a game here to show you some disappointments with it. Can't use any power-ups. There are certain things you can't do with it. Challenges you can't do. I've really enjoyed playing Trivia Crack, though, despite all these problems, since you have to start a game here on your phone. It looks like it actually is not loading up. There it goes. So yeah, despite annoyances with it, you have to start the game on your phone and things like that. Honestly, I found myself like at work playing this game straight from my wrist and just being like, wow, this is like actually a very well put together game. It doesn't take long to load, and the matches are fairly quick. I'll go ahead and demonstrate here real quick. Like I said, I queued up a game just for this. So you don't actually spin it, you just tap the wheel, but it's all super quick and it's all handled very nicely. Click, 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 play. The question loads right up. Where are the coastal plains located? I mean, coastal, it's near the ocean. I mean, yeah, and see, like I said, there's not a lot of delay between the loading, and see, now I'm already spinning the wheel again, so they're super duper quick. I just wish there were, you know, the power-ups are okay, but, which is a bullseye, 12? Nope, 10. I should have known that, but I'm trying not to pay attention. So anyway, so you see you get to this point, no new games available, and you can't force touch or anything, which is a bummer. Challenges. I've actually had several instances of me answering on here and supposing to have won the game, and then you go to the phone and that last round never counted. I had to redo the last round to win. And there are different questions and everything. So there are some issues with it, but overall it's a great experience on the watch. I've actually not tried this one here at all yet. I literally just downloaded it earlier. It looked like some wacky cupcake fighting game thing. I mean, honestly, I have no idea what to expect when it comes to that. So I'm not even going to bother getting into it yet because I don't even know what I'm getting into or if it's good or bad. Runeblade, this one's actually one I'm enjoying quite a bit. This is a good on-the-fly, constantly on your wrist watch kind of game. So what this is let me collect my gold. So it's very simple. You don't actually do anything yourself necessarily. You can do attacks, which last like 3 seconds and helps kill the enemies faster. So basically it's just enemies that just pop up and they have a health bar and you kill them. And you can upgrade yourself with these runes and stuff. So let's see, I have some more gold here. So let's go ahead and upgrade that. So upgrading these upgrades different stats. This one right here is your tap is plus 45%, so that'll be a little bit better. DPS, damage per second, so how that bar is just slowly draining. If you get your damage per second up, that'll drain faster. So all of this is running in the background while you're not using it. You do have some spells you can use, like this one will give me a flame sword. That one will have me attack constantly for 15 minutes instead of for 3 seconds. So it's really cool to come back in, check in, and you'll have all that gold waiting like you saw. Collect the gold, upgrade yourself. If your spells are charged, cast those, and then you move on to different areas. There's like a full map. Oh, excuse me, I passed the map. Full map, and you kind of progress through there, and you get boss battles and go to the next stages. Occasionally you'll find gold like this. So, okay, that's pretty nifty. I just got some gold. So yeah, and so this level's, there's 100 enemies, and 22 out of 100 is where I'm at now. So it's pretty nifty. It's not something super involved by any means, but that's what makes it excellent for being on your watch. And the artwork and everything looks gorgeous here on this small display. It looks really good. Lifeline is a great one. A lot of people have probably heard about Lifeline. I actually just beat it the other day. Basically, all it is, it's like a choose-your-own-adventure story. So you're being radioed by a kid named Taylor. You're being radioed by him. He's an astronaut on board of a ship that has crashed. It's a really good experience from the watch. Pretty straightforward. I mean, the app does pretty much just what you see here, so there's no reason not to play it on the watch. Really, you're not going to miss anything like you would with Trivia Crack. You just go in here. You'll get notifications saying messages incoming. You'll go to the app here. And you go through here and you can read his story, and then you're like, oh, okay, yeah. And this is what I want to say to him. And then he'll go ahead and respond. Sometimes he can take a moment, but that's something that's not the watch's fault as much as it's just he takes a moment sometimes. And sometimes he'll be busy and he'll be like, oh, I'm going to travel over to this rock. I'll be back with you. And then, 20, 30 minutes later, you get another notification as if he's been walking for that long. So yeah, that's really cool. It's a really good story, good way to pass the time. You kind of get a little invested in it. I definitely recommend checking it out. Rules, honestly, I'm not a big fan of. It's okay. It's just basically a dumbed-down version of the iPhone app. You've probably heard a lot about this. So what you do in here, you go in here and do a little workout. So tap ascending. Okay, so you just basically follow the rules. So stage 1, tap ascending. So apparently it didn't register my click there. So I've already failed. Anyway, you get the idea, and then you got to repeat rules and stuff. And we have CalcBot over here, which you probably heard a lot about. It's probably the best calculator on here because it has multiple functions. So let's go to Calculate. One minor annoyance with it, which I guess it's understandable given the small real estate of the screen, is to actually do the functions, you have to do a force touch. So it's annoying because you have to do a force touch. You gotta wait for that to pop up and do that. It only takes about an extra second or half a second or so, so it's not the end of the world necessarily. But when you're trying to do something quick on your watch, it would be convenient to just be going like 1, 0, plus instead of plus. So it's a bit of a nuisance there, but I mean, other than that, it's good having that extra real estate for the buttons, so that way they're easier to press. So you can just go 1, 2, 8, and it's very simple. It works well. It's very precise. It's not as much of a pain to press the buttons as you might think. Usually, in most cases, it's going to be easier to just call up Siri and have her do a question. But if you're in public and you don't want to be talking to Siri, you might not want to do that. But otherwise, it's just as easy to just, what's 12 plus 3? And bam, 15. And you can give her more complicated equations, but that's just something simple there. But the other perks of this app here in particular is you can also do conversions. So you can do like US dollars to euros, pounds to kilograms, things like that. Which my main complaint for that is you have no way to switch them around. So for example, say I wanted to do miles to kilometers here. Okay, it's asking me, how many miles. So 10 miles is 16.09 kilometers. But what if I want to know what 10 kilometers is in miles? Well, you can't. You have no way. You think maybe coming in here and doing this, it would switch them around, but it doesn't change anything. No matter what you do, it's always going to be miles to kilometers. It's not the other way around, which sucks, but it's not the end of the world. A tip calculator, which actually works really well. So say you had a total bill of $12.95. Then you can just scroll down here, 15% tip. Tells you how much a tip is and the total, and then if you're splitting it, so say there's 3 people, bam, $4.96 per person. So that works really quick, really fast, and really nicely. So I greatly enjoy that. And then also, there's Violet. There's been several Reddit apps that are coming out here for the watch. Violet's probably the best one in my opinion because the other ones don't actually handle how you choose what subreddits to look at very well. Some only show you the front page, and they're not. Sometimes they're like the main Reddit front page, not even your front page, which is really disappointing. I want to see my Reddits, the ones I look into. So this one, you go in there and you have to manually enter in each subreddit you want to see. So I just tested it by doing the Apple Watch and the Apple subreddit. But so it's kind of a pain that you have to manually add all your subreddits you want to see. But that's also good because say your most important subreddits are these two rather than your entire front page. Because if you're checking on your watch, most likely it's got to be quick and easy. So I can quickly hop in here and see. So hello Reddit everybody. And so you can hop in here real quick. And it's really nice because you can click here and you can see the picture. So you can swipe over here, and so now you'll start to see the text and you'll see comments, and then you can actually press the comments if it doesn't freeze up. Oh, there it goes. Now it's starting to respond. And it crashed again. Okay, so it's obviously very buggy, but it works. Other ones worth mentioning, you know, I have a water tracking one, pretty run-of-the-mill. This one is Water Balance. It's a free version of one of the more popular ones. I haven't had much opportunity to use it yet, quite honestly. Instagram's pretty straightforward. I don't find myself using it that much, which is understandable. And then there's this one here, Movie Hype. So this one's pretty simple. I don't know if a lot of people are going to use it because I know a big complaint of smartwatches is them going off in movie theaters and blinding people, but I did use this when I went and saw Mad Max the other day, and the great thing is not only does it work in theater, but also works with movies at home as well. So that's really awesome. But what it is you just go in here and, like, for example, with Mad Max, it's essentially a movie timer. So as you can see, it's 120 minutes. So you go in there as soon as the movie starts, you click start, and it just counts it down. That's all it does. It doesn't do anything else, which some people, you know, this might seem pointless, understandable. But, you know, there are sometimes you go to a movie and you can't remember how long the movie is. And, you know, what if you really have to go to the bathroom or something and you're like, should I hold it till the end of the movie? You can quickly glance at this and say, oh, okay, you know, there's only 10 minutes left of the movie. I'll survive. Or something like that. So it's pretty nifty in that regards. It is a little bit buggy. Whenever you start the timer, there is a pause button. But as soon as you pause it sometimes and then click to start it, it'll reset the timer. That happens every now and again. But yeah, I used it in the theater. You know, it wasn't too bad. It wasn't blinding. I kept my brightness on low. And so it's a pretty nifty little app, just to have something to track it. You know, it's not a killer app necessarily, not going to be some highly required, but if you want to track the kind of thing, you know, that app is there. And the iPhone app works in different ways. It actually has a lot of different movie information and things like that there. So yeah, that's all the third-party apps that I have on my watch at this time. And, you know, they're pretty decent. I'm sure there's a lot of other great ones out there. I haven't explored every watch app available. You know, there's over 4,000 at this point, but damn, does that jellyfish look nice. Alright, anyway, so we're pushing it here on the length of time with this video. I just wanted to go over some of my favorite apps for the watch here and kind of give you guys a little bit something. I am working on a review of the watch, and I just want to give myself a little more time with it to go through with everything, but definitely be expecting one soon. But yeah, again, my name is Aaron, and this has been TVGOS, your source for technology, video games, and other stuff. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you next time.